Hello again and welcome back to Illegally Cited. This is BGFH and I am back for another VR experience spotlight. This is not a game. This is another VR experience where you're kind of exploring different environments. And this is something that I want to like. I really want to like, but I definitely have some issues with this experience. What we're looking at here is called Chernobyl. It is available on the Oculus Store, and I think I got it on sale during the... I don't remember if it was free or if I got it on sale during the Oculus sale a little while ago. But Chernobyl is basically kind of an interactive documentary history lesson kind of a thing on the area of Chernobyl. And like I said, it sounds like a fascinating thing. It's kind of, think of like the Apollo 11 thing that I have probably shared on the channel so far, where, you know, kind of just being there, you kind of have this really cool sense of presence, like I've kind of mentioned in a few other videos, or most of them probably at this point. But there are a couple of things really holding this back, both from a visual, low vision standpoint, and one thing I really don't care for about the audio. So we are at the main menu here. Now, the text is fairly large, but despite that, this is a great example of how not to do text. The contrast, especially look at below, look at the top couple options, at least the red kind of stands out a little bit, whereas you look at the bottom, and other than the fact that I kind of cheated and had to look at the monitor, maybe zoomed in a little bit, I had no idea what the heck that said. That is really poor color contrast. There should at least be like a text box, or a dialogue box of some kind. Maybe, you know, you can still have a little bit of bleed through like a lot of games do, but, you know, have the menu in like a rectangle that has, you know, low transparency, but like has a lot of contrast, because maybe for, if you have regular vision, it's not too hard to see, but for me, that is really, really tough. Now we are going to... It's also very tough for me to see even which one is being highlighted. I'm arrowing up and down with my D-pad on my controller now. Now I can tell that I'm on quit because it kind of went shunk. And I think, let's see, what is the next one up? Credits and then options. There's not really much under options except for language and something else. I was hoping that there would be some other options. Let's go into the main game. So, like I said, user interface wise, main menu is really kind of difficult. Now, let me see, can I back out of here somehow now? I'm not sure that I know how to do, okay. Let me see if I can start a new game here, or a new, I call it a game because I have a controller in my hand.
Comrades, working people, Chernobyl is yours and your family's future. Come and let us build a new, better tomorrow. Every pair of hands is needed. Atomic energy is our future.
That can't be good.
We experienced a great misfortune, an accident in the nuclear power plant.
This part is kind of neat. I like the way they do
The reactor number
newscasts
4 exploded. The firefighting action continues. A zone within 30-kilometer radius is contaminated.
Okay, there we go. we got our little intro. We kind of welcome to Chernobyl. And then we're going to be loading the overall map here in a second. We were on this screen just a bit ago, but I wanted to at least show you kind of the way it started, which is kind of a neat little thing, all these screens that show up. So we are now loading, presumably. Okay, so in a minute here, we are going to be able to check out some areas. Okay, we got our hourglass.
It is here where the families and employees of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant had lived until
now,
the
look
day
at that
of the
cursor that was
catastrophe.
just there.
Immediately after the explosion,
See if it shows
about
up
50,000 citizens were irrevocably evicted. Look around and pick a place you would like to get to know better.
Okay.
Flat.
So, here is my main problem with this game. Maybe for some users it's actually not bad, but I am having a heck of a time seeing the cursor in my headset. Sometimes if it's against certain backgrounds, like I think I can see it there. So every once in a while I can find it, but you notice like a minute ago where it had that kind of big old like square thingy, or I forget what it was, but you had this kind of big indicator. There really needs to be a more clear, larger pointing device. For low vision, getting around this app, this experience is actually quite difficult for me. So what I find myself having to do is hear that little chime. That when I hear that chime,
Amusement park.
I know. Oh, that'd be kind of interesting.
Community center. Community center.
So I have to listen for that chime. Like I can kind of see sort of where I am.
Amusement park.
Okay, let's say I want to go to the amusement park. Okay. I've never been here before. I looked at the community center briefly.
Prepare for landing at the amusement park. Shortly after the catastrophe, this place was an airstrip for helicopters participating in removing the effects of the reactor's explosion.
Wow, that is cool. The sense of scale, again, is just really fascinating to see. I mean, that Ferris wheel is, look at that thing. Oh, it's huge. Okay.
The amusement park in Pripyat
Right there.
was never
If
opened for the
that
public.
thing was something you could
It
steer
was built
around.
in 1985, but in the Soviet Union, nothing could be opened just like that. So the official opening was planned for the holiday of the 1st May in 1986. However, as we already know, a few days earlier there was the explosion. Look around, find and learn more details about the history of the amusement park.
Okay, so he gives me a little intro. Now, okay, I can kind of see my cursor there. Now I kind of just have to look around the environment for some cues as to what I might be able to click on. And at least to me, it isn't super obvious what I'm supposed to click on. And that's the real bummer, because I think actually watching this would be rather interesting. I can slowly turn with the right analog stick, but I can't move. So I'm stuck as a fixed camera. Let's just use my analog stick so I don't have to make myself dizzy. I'm not sure where I'm supposed to click here. Oh. I heard a ding. Come on. Come on. Oops. Let me see here. It's really, and I can't really lean in either. Okay, so we got in.
1 мая 1986 года в городе должно быть такое
On the
знаковое
1st of
событие.
May
Должен
Here's my other
совершиться
the town
problem.
was supposed to host a significant event.
собственный парк
The town
аттракционов.
first
Visual
amusement park
interface
was going to be
aside.
opened.
Listen to the audio
Для
for
такого
a minute.
небольшого города, который имеет уже достаточно такую инфраструктуру,
I believe that for
открытие
such a
такого
small
парка,
town, which
ну,
already
я так
had a
думаю, что
solid
имело большое
infrastructure,
значение, потому
The
что
audio
много
mix-
было
was very
детей.
important.
Well, let him keep
Конечно,
talking
also
for a little
because
bit
there
here.
were so many
прийти
children in
просто
the
с
town.
кем-то покататься и так
And
далее.
of
Здесь
course,
будет
on Saturdays and Sundays, people would be able to just
колесо
go there and
обозрения,
have fun.
качели, карусели,
There was a Ferris wheel, swings,
в которых можно было
roundabouts,
покататься,
and even bumper
посталкиваться и
cars,
так далее.
which you can drive and bump
Вот.
into other
Ну
cars.
и рядом находился центр, где можно было зайти, там просто попить
There was a
кофе,
center
может даже
nearby,
где-то
where people
перекусить,
could go and have a coffee,
пообедать.
a snack,
И с
or
детворой
lunch,
просто хорошо
or
провести
spend a
время.
good time with their kids.
Но 26 апреля она все перечеркнула, и 27-го
But the tragedy of
апреля
the 26th
весь
of
город
April
был
damaged all these
эвакуирован.
plans,
Но
and on the
все,
27th
что
of April,
осталось от этого
the entire
аквапарка,
town was
мы
evacuated.
можем.
Okay, let's see what it brings us
A
into
Ferris
here.
wheel was supposed to be the biggest attraction of the amusement park. 20 gondolas were to carry up to 80 people. They could have admired the panoramic view of the city at 20 meters.
Yeah, that looks really big, all right. I'm not sure that I would like that. That's pretty dang high up. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I hope you don't have vertigo, guys, because you're getting pretty high up there. And you really have a sense of scale here. Wow.
There are rumors that the amusement park was opened shortly after the explosion to distract people from the disaster, but no one can confirm this information, and the preserved archival materials indicate that only a trial test was run before the scheduled opening.
Huh. Very interesting. Alright, so before I do the next little thing here, it's not so bad when it's just the main narrator talking. He's a little bit, I don't know if I want to say soft-spoken, but maybe just his deep voice or something is a little bit harder to hear. But I think the audio mix for the original dialogue and then the translation is not mixed very well at all. It's really hard to hear the English translation over the original dialogue, the original narration from whoever's talking. And I've noticed that. I've checked out a couple of different areas and I'm finding the same thing. You know, I mean, usually like what they'll do is they'll have the original narration in whatever language, and then they will, as he or she starts talking, they'll kind of gradually lower that volume and have the English dialogue a bit louder so that it's actually easier to hear. I actually find myself really having to concentrate to try to hear some of the
Back
information.
to Pripyat.
So let's see what this does really quickly here. Oh, okay. I don't know if that's all we can do in here. Let's try to...
Community Center.
Let's go in here because I'll show you a little bit more of an example, and I'll show you a little bit more what this
In a
app
minute,
is like.
we are going to land on the main
then we'll
square
wrap
in
it up.
Pripyat, next to the energetic community center.
That's a nice looking view. That's pretty cool looking. I like how they take you down in the helicopter, you know, it's just kind of has this really neat looking introduction to each area. Okay, we're gonna land.
The Energetic Community Center was a modern recreation facility with an auditorium, a sports hall, a cafe and a disco. In front of the center,
Disco.
there was also Lenin's monument. However, it hasn't survived.
All right. So we're going to attempt to go into this building here. Again, I find it very kind of difficult. I can't see that. I can kind of see the cursor, but it's really hard to see not only that, but where I'm supposed to go. I got lucky there. The first time it took me
In this
a
place, the
while
cultural life of Pripyat
to
was
find out where to
bustling.
go.
To find out more, listen to the stories of the guide.
Okay, before I do that, I'm going to look around a little bit more here. Wow. So that's, like I said, there's your major narrator. Now, when I go to this next... where is it? Yeah. Alright. We're going to get some other narration dubbing here again. And just listen to how hard it can be to kind of hear.
The Energetic Community Center was the center of the cultural life of Pripyat.
Города Припяти. Здесь проходили
Almost all mass
практически
events
все
were held
такие
here.
массовые мероприятия. Здесь женились, регистрировали
Weddings,
детей.
birth registration of newborns,
Здесь
wedding
были
parties,
свадьбы.
party and union meetings,
Здесь проходили
numerous concerts.
партийные и профсоюзные собрания, многочисленные концерты. И тогда очень много людей
Back
ходило
then, many
сюда.
people were coming here.
А зал, который мы сейчас
The hall,
видим, это
which you can see
дискотека,
now, used to be a disco club.
которая
A disco
проходила в
was
выходные
organized
дни.
at the weekends, as
А
the
в
town
городе
was
было
full of
очень
many young people.
много
Yeah,
молодежи.
so they could bring the one dialogue down a little
средний
bit.
average
It
age
would be a
was
lot
28.
easier to
Был
hear.
So the disco was always crowded.
Поэтому всегда было
People had
людно,
fun and felt good there.
весело и хорошо. И в другой
Sometimes
раз
I just want to believe that the
хочется
social
верить,
life
что
there, in the next room,
жизнь, которая
in the hall,
там в соседнем
still
зале, который
ongoing.
актовый, все еще продолжается.
but
Ну, увы,
alas,
время ушло.
those times are gone.
Now, I'm going to wrap it up here in just a minute, but we're going to jump into another scene here with somebody else talking. And, like I said, just give you a little bit more of what's
Дуже
going
добре
on here.
пам'ятаю день, коли ми вперше дізналися, це були чутки, був Радянський Союз, не можна було про це говорити. Ми зразу відчували, що на цю тему табу. І ми абсолютно випадково дізналися, здається, тому що я львів'янка, у Львові можна було чути деякі радіостанції з Європи. І ми дізналися тільки тому, що вже Швеція підняла дуже велику інформаційну хвилю. І тоді вже просто чутками дійшло до нас. І ми з мамою, ми буквально днями згадували, як це все було, просто по дням. Ми були, вже 2 травня ми дізналися, тобто трагедія сталася 26-го, ми дізналися тільки 2 травня. Ми були в Карпатах. Ми ніколи не любили ходити на ці демонстрації з прапорами
So we're going to
Леніна.
stop there. We're going to back out. And I think we'll be back at our main map area here. Yes. Okay. So that kind of gives you an overall idea of what this app experience is like. Like I said, I really want to like it. I think there's possibly some really interesting information, some interesting history here. But I find, not just from a low vision standpoint, but a vision and audio standpoint, that I think there could be some improvements made to just the usability, the whole user interface of this experience. Because again, I find the not just the cursor, but in some cases, like where I'm supposed to point, that combination,
flat.
I'm finding that sort of hard to do quickly and efficiently. And then the whole audio, like I said, the original dialogue and then the translation over it, I think, is kind of a bad audio mix. So it's actually, in some cases more than others, I think it's actually harder to concentrate on the information that's being talked about. So I don't know. I mean, make of it what you will. It is definitely, especially if this subject matter is interesting for you, it's something that I could recommend as a pretty cool experience. Although, like I said, keep in mind some of the usability issues of this. If you are low vision, I can definitely see you struggling to navigate efficiently around this experience, just with the really low color contrast for the menus and some of the pointer things like that. I really want to like this. If I'm kind of wanting to just kick back and listen to something, or kind of learn something when I get home, I might return to this. But like I said, even trying to listen to some of the dialogue, I find it a little bit frustrating to have to, with some of the audio mixing. I don't know how much I'll come back to this app or not. But that is Chernobyl. It is available in the Oculus store right now. I don't recall how much it costs, but I don't think it's too terrible. But yeah, it is available now. Hope you guys enjoyed it, found it interesting. And like I said, I kind of want to let you guys know of some good and some maybe not so good experiences that I've had in VR. I don't want to just show you the really good highlights. I want to show you kind of some areas where, unfortunately, I've had to struggle a little bit, especially as a low vision user. So, hope you guys found it useful. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Follow me on Twitter at BGFH79, and until next time, I will talk to you guys again later.